This is from Stephen Pearl last night. A different soundbite here in a second, but he says that was probably the worst loss I've ever been a part of at Auburn. So
definitely the worst loss in Stephen's tenure.
Yeah, but you go back. He when Bruce came to Auburn, Stephen was on his bench, so he's been at Auburn through all of Bruce Pearl, and then through his year of coaching, and that was probably the worst loss I've ever been a part of at Auburn. And remember that Yale loss in the NCAA tournament. Now, that one mattered more.
It's the most painful, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess the loss to Virginia would be the most painful.
That team they were talented enough to not only go to a Final Four, but possibly win a national championship, and you lose in round one to an Ivy League school, a good Yale team.
There's difference in a painful loss and a bad loss.
That's right.
That's a painful loss.
So not to throw Mississippi State under the bus, I think what Stephen is saying is that we are better than that Mississippi State team. I'm probably better than Yale, but Yale was good. Virginia and Auburn, you're playing in the Final Four of these heartbreaking losses.
Yeah,
in the
team
Pearl
that won
era.
a national championship. Last night, I mean, look, there's a lot of reasons that it's made it really, really bad. Obviously, Auburn is fighting for their tournament lives now. But when you get down 18, and at that point, the win probability for Mississippi State with 18:25 left in that game was 94.5%. Then it completely flips. Auburn goes on a 17-1 run. I feel very comfortable saying that Alabama and Auburn on the same night have never had a 17-2 and a 17-1 run.
I would say that too. Yes.
But they come back, and not only do they take the lead, they go up by 7. And at that point, with 3:56 left in the game, Auburn up 7, they have almost a 90% win probability. So to exert all the energy in a game that you had to have to not only come back from 18 down, to go up 7, where you saw Stephen on the side so pumped up, because at that point, Auburn's not losing that game, but then you go on and lose the game. That was insane, and you just wonder not only mentally what it does, but physically for that team to exert all of that energy.
Josh Hubbard scores 46, 35 in the first half. The most points in the first half since Luca Garza scored 35 in 2020.
Yeah, a guy that won the Wooden Award for Iowa just a couple of years ago. He outscored Auburn by himself. 35 for Hubbard in the first half. Auburn had 33 at the break.
Yeah. 35, and I think, what was he, 9 of 13 from beyond the arc, I believe?
9 of 12.
9 of 12 by himself in the first half.
And I told Brown, I was like, I bet he is peeling paint, Stephen Pearl.
Stephen, it had to be.
He talked about, hey, these guards got to be salivating, especially Hubbard. He's such a good guard. He scored 30-plus in consecutive games. Our guard defense has not been good, going back to Richmond and Acuff, going 22 of 30 on Saturday. I guarantee at halftime he's like, I don't care what happens. That sumbitch ain't getting more points on us. And they did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
in the
they actually
half
limited him pretty well to keep him at 45.
Most of those points came at the free throw line. His 11 in the second half. I think he hit 1 3 and then the free throw line. Here's Stephen just devastated afterwards about the mood right now in the Auburn locker room as they were getting ready to leave Starkville.
What's the mood in the locker room around just trying to get back into the win column right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. Everybody's obviously disappointed in the result. But, if we can draw from those 15 minutes in the second half that we played really well, we can do something with it. But if we continue to get off to slow starts, we're not going to win any games. So we got to make a decision on how we're going to start games. And, we can't wait until we're down 18 to start playing desperate. We got to play desperate when it's 0-0.
And that's the only soundbite you'll hear from Stephen Pearl because of the kids in the background. That's the audio from Starkville. So we wanted to get that sound on there, but we apologize for not having 3 or 4 more bites.
I've got a feeling the way this Auburn team is playing that we're going to get to Nashville and we're going to be like, there's work to be done. They've got to win a game or 2 games.
Well, I mean, to your point, it's a 5-game losing skid, as everybody is aware of.
Which is the longest in 10 years.
Again, there's going to be a lot of discussion about the quote-unquote Pearls era, and you can make an argument this is the worst loss there, but a 5-game losing skid is very uncommon in this era of Auburn basketball.
Digestible against Tennessee on the road, against Alabama in that rivalry, even against a Vanderbilt, obviously Arkansas on the road, but Mississippi State where you're a 5.5-point favorite, and to be shell-shocked in the first half the way they were, but to come back and to play the way Stephen talked about in those 15 minutes and to take a 7-point lead, I really don't know how they still lost that game.
I don't either. You almost would rather get blown out, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Well, the defense went away at the end like it was for the first half. State hit 5 of 6 field goals and all 6 free throws in the final 3 minutes and something from that moment you talked about, the final 3:57. They didn't miss. They were 5 of 6 field goals and 6 free throws. So you ended up not doing what you did to get back into the game. You didn't do it for the final 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
Well, and you prove a point with Keyshawn against Arkansas, sitting him. He comes back, and he was freaking good, 29 and 10.
Double, yeah. And played 40 minutes, by the way. I mean, Stephen Pearl made a point there. Like, if you're going to come back and play, show me what you got. And he played 40 minutes to his credit and had a double-double.
So is 3 and 2 in these final 5 good enough?
Okay, they've got 3 quad 1 games.
Yeah.
So quad 1 at home Saturday against Kentucky, quad 1 at Oklahoma, which is amazing.
I don't
That's
know
quad
How
1.
is that still a quad 1?
Yeah, they're 3-10 in the SEC, but as
Top 75.
as we were sitting here right now, that was a quad 1 game, and then quad 1 at
That's a quad 1 that has no chance of going to the tournament.
Right, and quad 1 at Alabama. So 3 Q1s as we sit right now, left on the schedule.
So
And
let's
there's
just
no way you. I mean, you said you can't
hypothetically-
lose to Mississippi State. There's no way you can lose to LSU or Ole Miss.
Well,
Okay, but let's just say you win those games. Let's say you lose to Kentucky and Alabama, and you beat Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and LSU.
so that's 2 more wins and 3 more losses, or 3 more wins and 2 more losses.
Yeah, so you're 17 and 14, but you didn't get any of those quad 1s.
Yeah, and then your conference. I mean, I guess conference record matters.
You've got 4 quad 1s before. You've got the 4th most difficult schedule in college basketball.
It's an 8-10 conference record, and you're 17 and 14.
That's good enough to get in.
Probably.
But what happens now is you went because of all the work you've done pre-conference. Now you're on a 5-game losing streak, and I know we don't count the last 10 games like we used to, but the people in the room are humans. And I know they look at a lot of graphics, the Torviks and the Ken Palms and the Nets and all that, but they're still humans. And at least what has happened now is the conversation has flipped to real basketball people that'll be in the room having the conversation about, okay, does Auburn deserve to be in or not? That wasn't part of the conversation when people in the media like us were saying it 2 weeks ago, like, this Auburn team, are they
Right.
a tournament team or not? But now the basketball people are letting it in their heads, does this team deserve to be in or not?
Well, and another angle that you will get, I'm just assuming for that committee, if Auburn continues to struggle, Bruce Pearl, you would get the benefit of the doubt. Fair or unfair to Steven, he's not Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, we're talking about humans here.
Yeah,
to Jim's
so
point.
You look at a team, they've got similar resumes, but one's got a Hall of Fame coach and one has got, just an average coach. You probably lean the Hall of Fame coach. Steven's not going to get that benefit of the doubt his first year.
It's weird. They are the possessor of the single best win this year in the SEC.
Maybe in the country.
I was going to say that maybe in the country. Creighton's last night is pretty good at UConn.
Creighton's not a tournament team, though.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You're right.
Yeah.
It was a good win, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I should say then, of tournament teams, they are a possessor of maybe the best win in the country. Certainly the best win in the SEC. I cannot argue that. Winning at Florida.
The SEC, I don't think the country.
I mean, it's in the discussion. But again, it's not you're not going to make this a one-game discussion, but I am saying if you're looking for check marks in both columns, that's certainly a check mark in Auburn's favor.
I guess what I should say is of the bubble teams, when you're sitting here deciding, okay, who's going to be in, who's going to be out, Auburn's win at Florida is going to probably be better than anybody else that they're being judged by.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, of their neighborhood, they've got the best house. But, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think as long as you beat the teams you're supposed to beat, which would be Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, even if you lose to the teams that maybe you're not supposed to beat, Kentucky and Alabama, although you could argue Kentucky, I think you're okay. I think you're okay even regardless of what happens in Nashville. I personally think that the committee has shown you we put more emphasis on conference tournaments than the committee puts on conference tournaments.
But what LT is saying is, okay, now you're 3-2 and you go to Nashville. You don't have the double bye.
Nope.
You may not have a bye. I guess you have a bye.
They won't play on that first night. They're not going to get that
first
bad.
night, but you're going to be playing a pretty bad team in your first game in Nashville.
So how does that help you? It just gives you another win.
It could really hurt you.
It doesn't help you, but it could be the one that decides, ooh, that's another bad loss.
That's right.
Let's play the flip side.
That just confirms what I had already thought about them. Yep.
Play the flip side of the coin, though. Let's say that they lose Kentucky, Alabama, and they lose one of those three in between.
Those are bad losses. I know Oklahoma's a quad 1 game, but That's quad 1 by title only.
Yeah, but then you're, 7-11 in conference, and you're 15
Yeah,
or
hard.
16 and 15 overall.
That's a hard sell right
But
there.
again, when you get it is a hard sell. But I remember Mark Godfrey's team. Were they not 17 and 15, 17 and 14 one year?
Played like Auburn, the number 1 schedule. I don't know that it was actually number 1 that year, but it felt like it.
Yeah, and they got in, and then you sit there and you go, okay, what are these teams that were being judged around to get in the tournament? What do they have on their resume and what do they don't have? And then when you start going, win at Florida, win against St. John, there's another big win, NC State, which is looking like a good win. There's some good wins that you look even better that you've already got on your resume. That's going to be stuff Auburn has that other teams that they're going to be judged by. The Missouris and the Texases won't have, though Texas would have a...
Well, and 7-11's not going to be unprecedented to get in the tournament. You go back to last year, and I don't remember what Oklahoma and Texas did against quad 1s and what the out-of-conference looked like, but they were both 6-12 in conference, and they both got in.
If you don't play the number 1 schedule in the country, you're not a 17-win team. But if you're going to be a 17-win team, it's best to have the number 1 schedule in the country.
That's right, and that's the trade-off. And I think Stephen and Auburn knew that when they put together. I mean, thank you, Bruce.
I think Bruce at Auburn.
Thanks, Dad. You put together the toughest schedule in Auburn basketball history, and then you walk out and leave me the keys to the car. It's a great first job, but
tough way to start it.
To your point, though, I mean, LSU could end up with 17 wins this year, but they're not even close to sniffing the tournament at 2-11 in conference.
That's right, because 2-11 in conference and right now, and then their schedule.
Not all 17 wins look the same. Amazing night from Josh Hubbard, who took the game personally. You could see him afterwards talking smack. You don't leave state. Talking to Keyshawn Murphy, who was at Mississippi State last year but portaled to Auburn, one of the 10 new players on that roster down at Auburn. They get Kentucky at home 7:30 Saturday night, and we'll see what happens from there.